Folks, are you going live too? Or? Okay, hi everybody. Welcome to another edition of Folk and Acoustic Music. My name is Michael Stock, here every Sunday live doing a radio show at WLRN in Miami. But I bring you the Facebook live feeds of the guests I have here, and I'm very thrilled today. Fernando Lopez is here.
Hi there.
Fernando's from Guatemala. He's in South Florida on a migrant. What do you call the tour again?
Yeah, actually, the name is Migrant Song Tour 2013.
Migrant Song Tour, and he's doing a lot of benefits and shows for the farm workers here in South Florida, as well as other people who would need your inspiration, I suppose, right?
Yeah, that's right, Michael.
We're going to start in just a minute here. Let me. So this song is 2 minutes long, so we have 2 minutes to go. And then, so you have a show tonight. At 5 o'clock?
Yeah, after here, or rather, I'm going to perform on the Day of Migrant. To commemorate the Day of Migrant here in the park, Jose Marti. I don't know the
Is this your first time in Miami?
In Miami, yeah.
Okay.
Performing like a singer-songwriter, because many years ago I came to perform as a marimba player, because I was part of the top ensembles of marimba.
Oh, no kidding!
Yeah, absolutely. So I used to come kind of 3 or 5 times a year to perform to Miami, but another different setting,
Was that a Guatemalan group?
Absolutely. It was at the Oficina Nacional de Turismo, like the official tourism office.
Okay.
And they had this very nice ensemble of Guatemala marimba.
Very cool.
And I was playing for many years.
Okay. All right. I'm not going to ask you any more questions right now because we're going on the air in 1 minute.
Okay.
On the radio, so we'll go here. But that's a classical guitar you have.
It's kind of electroacoustic flamenco.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, it's kind
that
of
has a plug on it? Oh, I see. Yeah.
Modern classical is more flamenco. The box is kind of slightly
there we go.
different.
That's it. Hold on. Welcome to Folk and Acoustic Music. My name is Michael Stock, here every Sunday on 91.3 WLRN. Opening up this set was an instrumental from Kristen Granger's latest CD, Fear of Falling Stars. That was Pent Up from Kristen Granger. On today's program, I'll be playing some new music, some old music. The Public Storyteller comes at 4 o'clock. But right now, Fernando Lopez is in the studio. And Fernando, welcome to WLRN.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me, Michael.
It was a busy week you've had. You've been in South Florida now for about a week.
About a week, actually, yes.
How many shows have you done?
I've done four shows so far.
Okay.
And that'll be the last one tonight.
Tonight at 5.
Yeah, tonight at 5, yes. Actually.
It's a free outdoor show, is
Absolutely.
it?
It's
Okay.
to commemorate the Migrant Day, International Day in Jose Marti Park.
It's in Jose Marti Park, right in downtown Miami,
yeah.
actually.
Yes, absolutely.
I have the address on 4th Street in the South, 362 Southwest 4th Street, and Fernando will be there at 5 o'clock. For the Migrant Tour. It's an International Day of Migrant, you said?
Today, yeah, they're commemorating the International Day of Migrant.
I never heard of that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's been taken into account for, this United Nations because of the increasing role of migrant issues globally.
We have a lot of migrant workers here in South Florida.
Absolutely, yeah. Especially at the south of Florida. Yeah.
And that's where you did one of the concerts for the migrant workers here.
Actually, kind of 3 of them.
3 of them.
And even more, I composed a song for them.
Oh, really?
Maybe I got the chance to perform it.
Why do you have this connection with migrant workers? You're from Guatemala.
I'm from Guatemala, but I consider myself kind of a migrant too, because I moved from Guatemala to Ireland in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And I consider that migrant is kind of this global issue related with many, many things, but particularly with music, which is my approach, So I consider this important to approach music for their own vindications, for their own search for dignity, being a migrant worldwide.
How are the migrants in South Florida? I'm sure they were happy to be entertained by you, but are they feeling okay? Are they feel worthy? Or they feel okay here?
Absolutely. I think that they're fine. And in this tour, we had very emotive and nice moments. And I consider that it's been a really successful tour because they were able to listen to their own music, you know. I mean, most of them are migrants from Guatemala, particularly here. So for them to listen some national tunings like La Luna de Xelajú or another very well-known tunes are being kind of, yeah, we still have our own identity, you know.
So you're talking about folk songs from when you grew up.
Folk songs, let's say folk songs, traditional folk songs, but also my own compositions related with migration.
Did you grow up as a singer in a musical family?
I'd say yes, mostly for my grandmother, my grandmother's family, you know. Yeah. My grandfather was a musician and telegrapher, I don't know how to say it. And he has this huge marimba, and I started to play marimba with him when I was 6 years old. And through all my life, I have been playing marimba.
And you were a professional marimba player?
Absolutely. I had a huge, the giant opportunity to perform with the top ensembles of marimba in Guatemala, La Marimba Nacional de Concierto. And yeah, it's amazing.
So how old were you when you were with that group and you toured around the world?
Yeah. I was 30 years old. But
30?
I was 30. But I had begun to perform as a marimba player when I was 6 years old.
Oh.
So at the end of the day, I became part of this huge ensembles in Guatemala. Indeed, we perform in the United States, Japan, and everywhere.
Why did you quit?
Yeah, because I had to do a very, crucial decision, because at that time I was also studying my anthropological career. But sometimes touring and studying at the same time was not, let's say, compatible. So I had to make the decision to quit as a marimbas player to continue my university career.
Where did you go to university?
Yeah, the San Carlos University, which is the national university in Guatemala City.
I see. And your field of study was?
Yeah, actually, my field of study was, let's say, music and social.
Why did you? Oh, social justice. Well, that's the reason I go to school. So I see. So
yeah, even at that time I didn't know that intersection existed, but since I began performing and very related with social global issues when I was 12 years old child, so I found in the anthropological cultural approach my way to continue deep into what I was doing as a singer and musician.
Did you? Guatemala was. I seem to think it being politically unstable. So when you were growing up, was it a childhood that you had to be fearful?
Wow, yeah, it's a very interesting question. Actually, at that time, yeah, there were very ruthless repression because I was born in the middle of civil war. So all of us had to, how to survive and to find our own way to continue. And I found my path through music. Mm-hmm. But it was really hard times when I was kind of.
Well, how did going to university change you?
Okay, I always had this kind of. I wanted to research more closely why I became interested to relate my music performance with these social things that surrounded me. It was my social and political circumstances. So I wanted to approach from my music in a proper way. So I was thinking I need some maybe theoretical readings to understand that what I'm doing, it is really worth it. Mm-hmm. So in that sense, the anthropology changed.
How long ago was that?
I graduated as a social anthropologist in 1996.
So your musical, did you drop marimba?
Yeah, absolutely. Marimba is in all my recordings, and I'd say last night I was thinking that in my guitar playing, I played the guitar as a marimbist.
Oh, no, really?
Yeah, because marimba was my first approach to music. So. Yeah, I'd say that both are interrelated. My guitar playing with marimba, at some point, they intersect kind of a natural way.
And did you start writing songs in university?
No, when I was 12 years old.
Oh, you started back then?
Yeah, I started setting music to poetry. It was my first foray into music, and
Was it? Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to find out more what happened after you graduated from university. But let's start off with the song. Let's have a song.
Okay, it'll be really nice to perform. So, I was thinking, this next song is called Chuimekena Totonikapan, and in this song, I try to fuse both the marimba approach with the gypsy boleria, and it is kind of an experiment, you know. I hope how it goes. Es un patio de olores, este nido de pino, y detrás de sus voces se oye el caserío como risa redonda en la barba parduzca, el musgo de los riscos, el musgo de los riscos. Y en el fondo del llano, sembrado de balidos, el manubrio del viento le da cuerda al molino, porque toque su disco de harina de chirrido, y en el cielo del llano, sembrado de balidos, el manubrio del viento le da cuerda al molino, porque toque su disco de harina de chirridos, de harina de chirridos, de harina de chirridos, rumbo a la fiesta y con San Miguel Arcángel. Mi pueblo en lucha y con Atanasio Tzul. Chuimekena Totonikapan, campanaba Totonikapan, rumbo a la fiesta y con San Miguel Arcángel. Rumbo a la fiesta y con Atanasio Tzul. En campanaba Totonikapan, Chuimekena Totonikapan.
Fernando Lopez, live in the WLN studio. We were doing percussion in that song, picking. That was a lot of stuff in there.
Absolutely. This is what I mentioned before, because I consider that buleria, the gypsy kind of ancestral rhythm, let's say, and fuse really well with the Guatemalan song, because they're not Western approach rhythms. How to say? It's more, their structure is more free, based on the ternary division, let's say. So at some point, I did the percussion of the Guatemalan Yeah, and afterwards I mixed with this really flamenco, you know.
Is that why you
Picks
have a nylon string guitar instead of a steel string guitar?
Yeah, absolutely. This is an effect that I can do only with the nylon guitar, because with the string there's so many other overtones, and so it is really difficult to keep the same rhythmic pattern.
What was that song about?
Okay, that song is it's talking about Totonicapan, which is an important village in Guatemala. 48 Cantones is the name of a kind of local organization who have keep, very important role in the resistance of indigenous people in Guatemala. So nowadays they are kind of the most important social actors who are trying to keep democracy in Guatemala. So I dedicated this song because it's kind of homage for all this long-standing resistance process throughout the year, throughout this Guatemalan history.
Is it dangerous to sing that song in Guatemala?
Maybe, but I consider that it is important to do it.
So
anyway.
So you could get in trouble for singing that song. I mean, is it a brave act to do that?
I haven't thought about it in that way. What I consider that this is our commitment. Mm-hmm. As in my case, my particular case, it is my choice. As an art practice activist. So I have to sing these songs. But not only me, there are so many good artists involved in this commitment. So it is important because I consider music, collective singing has an important role to play in society.
Fernando Lopez is here. He's been here all week, and he's doing his final show this evening. Well, 5 o'clock this evening, just in a few hours in downtown Miami at Jose Marti Park. At 362 Southwest 4th Street in Miami, and your show starts at 5 o'clock. And so this is for the Day of the Migrant celebration. So you're specifically here helping to lift the feelings of the spirits of the migrants here in South Florida.
Absolutely. And I composed a song before coming because I knew that I will be invited to perform in such commemorations. And it is based on this kind of most of the workers here are struggling with bad labor conditions.
How is it that you could relate to that?
I was invited. I was making some research through the internet, and some of them found that I was performing in Guatemala for such a very close issues, so they decided to invite me to come.
Are you considered a protest singer?
Absolutely.
Okay, you wear that proudly.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, because I think the gender is called protest song, and at some point I was thinking it is protest song or more kind of folk music. But now that I'm kind of studying in my doctoral project in Ireland, I found that the genre, as ethnomusicologically speaking, and also art practice, from the art practice approach, is called like that.
Protest music.
International perspective as protest music.
Oh, international perspective.
Perspectives, yeah.
Okay. And so you skipped over a lot there. So you're studying in Ireland now.
Actually, I am studying in Ireland. Yeah, when I moved to Ireland in 2018, I got involved in this ethnomusicological program at Limerick University, the Irish World Academy of Music and Dance, and I got the scholarship Stepping Stones, which is a scholarship to support scholars and activists throughout the world in order to study ethnomusicology at what time. So I started my master's degree in ethnomusicology, and then I could set the base, and they were considered that my study could be more deep. They decided to give me the chance to get involved in the arts practice.
So you're still
PhD.
studying?
I'm studying now a PhD of music and in the intersection of music and social justice.
Oh my gosh, Dr. Lopez, you're have to get used to being called doctor.
Well, I don't. Yeah, no. I think that it's important to have more. Okay, my interest is just to gain information, to properly do my performance.
Sure.
Because it is important to read, to have interesting reads from, particularly from other artists who are in the same field. There are so many good ethnomusicologists, art practice doctors throughout the world who have written the same approach I'm studying.
I don't know why I thought Limerick University in Ireland you'd hear a lot of Irish music, but I wouldn't expect to hear a Guatemalan singer there.
Yeah, that's weird. I consider that I am the first Guatemalan. No, I asked that question to my supervisor, my ethnomusicology director, who is actually he's a very nice and very good, clever, brilliant ethnomusicologist and ethnochoreologist from San Francisco, emeritus from San Francisco, Colin Keeley. And I asked him, do you remember another Guatemalan involved in this? As far as I can see, no, you are the first one. So it is kind of interesting. It's a challenge, for me.
I'd imagine. Are you playing any Irish music? Is any kind of bled to you?
No, what I'm doing now is trying to approach the Irish folk rhythms to my own songs. And this song that I composed for previously to come to this tour, dedicated to this work, is based on the folk Irish.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, the folk Irish rhythm.
So you want to play that song? This is the song you wrote for this tour.
For this tour.
And I know the English version is Water, Shade, and Dignity, which is a takeoff of the We Count organization's motto of water, shade, and rest.
Absolutely.
Speaking of migrant workers.
But for me, all of those categories involves dignity. So what I said is like water, shade, and dignity, So if you don't mind, I could play it.
Fernando Lopez.
Compañeras, compañeros inmigrantes, qué bonito encontrarnos entre amigos para sembrar el camino del trabajo y de la lucha colectivos. I miss you going, pero tengo dignidad. Contra el racismo, contra el machismo y la injusticia laboral. Exijo agua, sombra y descanso. Exijo agua, sombra y dignidad. Trabajamos bajo el sol y a campo abierto. Sin descanso y el calor se hace más fuerte. Esto no es justo, mi gente, pues cultivamos la riqueza y el sustento. Compañero, compañera, adelante todos ellos, adelante. Compañera, inmigrante, el futuro lo tenemos que pelear. Exijo agua, sombra y descanso. Exijo agua, sombra y dignidad. Cuando tuvimos que emigrar de nuestra tierra para huir del hambre y del genocidio, tan solo nos quedaba este camino para sacar adelante a nuestras hijas contra el machismo, contra el racismo y el acoso laboral. I miss you going, so you see going, pero tengo dignidad. Exijo agua, sombra y descanso. Exijo agua, sombra y dignidad. Cada mañana que despunta el nuevo día, Agradezco el milagro de mis manos para ganarme la vida, un derecho que tenemos como humanos, compañera, compañero, con la vista y con los sueños adelante, compañero, inmigrante, el futuro lo tenemos que ganar. Exijo agua, sombra y descanso, exijo agua, sombra y dignidad.
Fernando Lopez, live in WLRN studio. I can see everyone singing along to that song. Do they? Do you teach that song?
Actually, last night it was amazing. It was really, this version was really successful when I finished my performance last night.
What did you do last night?
I performed in the private concert in Centro Sol, which is a kind of...
Is that the Wynwood show you did? Or?
No, it was in Jupiter.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was amazing because I decided to close my performance with that song, and they completely...
No, really?
Entrained and engaged because for them it resonated strongly what they're doing, you know.
Yeah.
So have this song, this tune is really popular, really catchy, you know, which is something that is important for them.
It's an audience that I am not familiar with. I mean, the farm workers, the migrant workers, most people don't know they exist.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
So it's nice you come down here and recognize the work that they do.
Okay, yeah. I think that I mentioned in the final lines here that this migrant hands is a kind of, I don't know how to say it properly, the wonder of the migrant hands to do the farmer works and to nurture the richness and the food throughout the world is something that we have to say this is really important, and they deserve to be considered human beings despite of their social circumstances. And that is why I consider that this music, the performing and everything related with this intersection that I was mentioned before.
I know
music and social global issues are...
I know you went to school to study this, but what turned you? How did you become a marimba player in a big orchestra to be concerned about the farm workers?
Yeah, I know. Maybe because when I was 10 years old, I found some nice readings from the magazine of the university, and it was a very nice part, separata, I don't know how to say it, section, literary section, and I began to read these poems. And the first poems I found was, poems related with human beings, the struggle for life, you know, to defend life, and that. So that poetry resonated strongly because it was my reality. So that was the first connection, and I decided that there's something more interesting. When I found a poem that really strongly resonated with me, so instant, kind of automatically, my mind started to model in the melody for me to capture the sense that of that emotion that the poem sparked on me as a way of keeping in mind, you know, to having this emotion. So that's where I started to put music, to set music to poems. It was my first recording, actually. So I think it is the first connection, the poetry.
And when did you start singing for real farm workers, for real migrant work, for real people who needed your help?
Okay, I'd say that if not knowing that I would do this tour here, I was composing a few years ago songs for this migrant issue, you know, and that's what I perform. And I composed another song called Azacuanes. It is a very bossa rhythmic, who talks about this story of these little eagles, migrant birds from the highlands of Guatemala looking for other, you know, when it's really cold, they migrate. So when I was living in that in the highlands of Guatemala, I heard that story. And I was imagining it is really poetic, you know, how birds look for other for more warmth, to be, you know. And then I realized that it is the same when people from Central America migrate in these huge caravans, you know, looking for a better life condition. So I said, wow, it is a really nice metaphor. And then I started composing music for migrants with not knowing that it'll be an issue into my art practice.
So it's not just Guatemalan migrants, all South America.
Absolutely. And in my performances, I want to play, for example, iconic tunes from Nicaragua, from El Salvador, and it's really nice to realize how they feel that they have this musical, you know, approach in their lives. Last night, a Cuban guy, at the end of my performance, told me, I'm really thankful for you because when you play this tune from complacido, and I was feeling something really deep emotion because I'm here from 6 months ago. I came here 6 months ago, and when I hear Dalto Cedro voy para Macané, llego a Cueto voy para Miami, he said to me, thank you very much. And his eyes were kind of almost crying, you know. So I said, wow, it's amazing the power of music, you know.
Very cool. Fernando Lopez is here. Fernando is going to do a show this evening at 5 o'clock, the day of the migrant celebration at Jose Marti Park in Little Havana, 362 Southwest 4th Street. It's today at 4 p.m. Fernando Lopez will be there. So now you're studying and pursuing a doctorate in Ireland. Is there a Latin community there that you sing with?
Yeah, I'd say that there are a Latin community in Ireland, mostly Brazilian.
Mm-hmm.
They are mostly from Brazil, Mexico, but from Guatemala. I'm afraid that I'm the only one.
I don't do much
Maybe
traveling.
not 5 of us.
Okay. I happened to be in Guatemala, and they were having elections that day. The whole country gets the day off during elections.
Yeah, that's right.
So, I mean, that was pretty fantastic. I mean, it's has the conditions there changed? Do you go back and visit there at all, or do you?
I'm really enthusiastic. I hope so. I hope that this new election will be successful at the end of the day, because it is the first time from many, many years ago, I'd say, after the peace agreement Accords were signed in 1986, that it is the first time that people found a real representation. And it has been really difficult because, you know, the local elites are not kind of interested to allow this new government to successfully be in the power. But I think that there are a lot of social, local, particularly indigenous organizations encouraging the people to succeed the democracy.
Do you take any responsibility, or do you want to sing about the injustices there as well as here?
Oh, absolutely. I've done. I always perform in Guatemala.
Okay.
It's the same thing. I was involved in many, you know, I won in 1980s 3 consecutive contests of social music at the university. And I consider that my music is not really widespread known, but most of the people sing my songs, and I'd say that this is something that keep me trying to deep in this art practicing, because it's really worth it. And yeah, absolutely, if I had my way to go back, I will perform in the same way.
What do you plan to do once you get your doctorate in ethnomusicology?
Yeah, it's interesting. Okay, it's a long story, but the short is that some of my songs, of my tunes, were kind of collectively sung in important moments of the transitional justice cases in Guatemala. For example, in 2013, when the final verdict of genocide against the Shia people was announced, the people in the courtroom started to sing a song of mine as a social response, as a way of celebration that I was searching for justice for so long. So at that moment I realized, wow, something happened about my music here. And also the same song was collectively sung at the end of another transitional justice case, Marco Antonio Molina Tyson. So I realized that maybe I needed to go too deep into my thing. So I decided to start this PhD doctoral project, which is the thesis of the title is Singing Truths. It is a kind of, what kind of truths? This is the question that my supervisor did it.
Oh, is that right?
And it's important. And I realized that when I was in Ireland, I found a really nice quote from Miller, an author, Irish author, that said, "The powerful write history, but the oppressed write the songs." So that particular kind of truth is which I'm interested in. So I'm trying to go into master in my doctoral project into that.
That's exciting. I mean, it's encouraging because I guess I'm kind of jaded, but you think music could change the world?
Music absolutely not change the world, no. But it helps a lot for people to mobilize another emotions in a co-creative or co-participative way, to get involved in kind of, social mobilizations. Because I consider that music, in my case, singing, has this kind of strong affect agency to gather people together, to this kind of mutual forging efforts, in order to participate in context of social mobilizations through songs. I strongly believe in that.
So you're not, let's say, a pop singer trying to expand your audience and sell more music. That's not your goal. Or you would like that. But
I would like that, but I'm kind of pleased that my main successful events was when my music resonated in that kind of historical moments in my country. That is kind of, wow, it has been really worth it to sing these songs. So this is, I survive playing and, but I consider that I am the right path.
Fernando Lopez is here, and he's in town just for a week, and tonight's his last show, actually. The Day of the Migrant celebration at 5 o'clock at Jose Marti Park in Little Havana. What's your purpose for tonight's concert?
The purpose is just to let them know that as a migrant, I am also a migrant in Ireland, I'm completely identified with their struggle. So for me, it'll be really nice to perform this song, Aguas, Hombre, Dignidad, because I think that they will be delighted to hear that song, and I hope that they will sing it with me at the end of the performance.
How long is the show for?
1 hour.
Oh, 1 hour from 5 to 6.
Yeah.
That's today at Jose Marti Park in Little Havana, 362 Southwest 4th Street. And all of a sudden the sun came out, so that's exciting.
Yeah, it's lovely, Yeah, absolutely.
Let's have one more song, okay, Fernando?
Absolutely. So I'd like to perform this song based on this metaphor I told before, this migrant little eagles called in Guatemala azacuanes, and human rights. This is a very nice metaphor, and it's called azacuanes. Parte, marchan lejos, siguiendo el rumbo migratorio de los azacuanes, y tardan en volver. parte, marchan lejos, siguiendo el rumbo migratorio de los azacuanes. Y tardan en volver, y yo me quedo vacío, soñando que cuando vuelvan me llenen como un surtidor en primavera, y yo me quedo vacío, soñando que cuando vuelva me llenen como un surtidor en primavera. Ya viramos. Tus miradas parten, marchan lejos con el rumbo migratorio de los azacuanes, e tardan em volver. O teu olhar tá indo embora, muito longe eu fico preso de saudade, não tem solução. Você vai demorar, o teu olhar tá indo embora, muito longe eu fico preso de saudade, não tem solução. Você vai demorar, tus miradas parten, marchan lejos con el rumbo migratorio de los azacuanes, y tardan en volver. Tus miradas parten, marchan lejos con el rumbo migratorio de los azacuanes, y tardan en volver.
Fernando Lopez, live in the WLN studio. Fernando's doing a show this evening at 5 o'clock at Jose Marti Park in Little Havana, the Day of the Migrant celebration with Fernando Lopez. Fernando, that was great. Thank you so much. It was great meeting you.
Thank you, Michael, for having me, for all of you here in the studio. And I hope you enjoyed this kind of proposal, you know.
Yes, thank you. And I appreciate it. And tonight, well, good luck, and hope I'll see you again, okay?
Yeah, hopefully. Thank you very much.
Here's Ed Mill. Excellent, that was great. Thank you so much.
I hope so.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm honored. I'm really flattered that you come here. That was great.
Thank you for having me. Actually, it's really a huge opportunity for me to share all of these ideas, you know, all of these tunes.
I hope that's my job.
Thank you very much. I'd like to have a picture with you.
All right, let me say goodbye to my Facebook followers here. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. And also, thanks, Louis, for coming in as well. Thank you.